What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. Today, I want to show you an ingenious way to garden and how you could take your backyard food production to the next level. Let's go! One of the main reasons I think this way of gardening is ingenious is because its main focus is on design. For instance, our foundation of what we're growing here are edible perennial plants. So what we're doing is we're having time work for us. As opposed to just planting annuals every single year that you have to replant and continually work on and just start over every year, we instead have these perennials, things that are always coming back, always getting bigger, always giving us bigger harvests with less work. For instance, right here we've got a nut tree, this hazelnut, and it's got a lot of nuts on it. And since we planted this tree years ago, I planted it when we first watered it when we first transplanted. Since then, it hasn't taken much maintenance. So the idea is to get a good foundation of things that are going to be little work and improve over time. Between the two hazelnut trees, we've got an Asian pear tree right here. And this tree is it's always done really well for us. It's got 3 different varieties of pears on it. So it's got the Shinseki, the 20th century, and the Chijuros. The Chijuro pear is definitely my favorite out of the 3 varieties. They call it the butterscotch pear, I believe, because that's what it tastes like. It's so good, so sweet. Gets it dark yellowish, almost orange color when it's ripe. You can see them starting to ripen a little bit, but they still have a good amount of time. Here we've got a tomato plant that we've got right in the center here. As you can see, growing up the trellis, that's how we like to do it. Not only does it save space and you get to use that vertical space, but also just makes it so much easier, so much more convenient to harvest, in my opinion. Behind that here, we've got a persimmon tree. And this is one of the trees that really extends our harvest, and it gives us fruit late into the season. This thing is a Nikita's gift. It's not a Fuyu pear, persimmon. So this one's not going to be ripe till like late October, early November. It's got to really get soft, and then it won't be astringent when it's soft, and it's almost like jelly inside there. So good. And then back there we've got a new persimmon that we planted. That's a Fuyu variety, so you can eat it when it's harder. So the idea is to have a diversity of things, not only to stabilize your harvest, but also to make it more fun for yourself to come out here. One thing you may have noticed when I was showing you the persimmon and the pear is that we had some weeds growing, and that's not right because we didn't have enough wood chips down. That's another part of the ingenious design, to have a thick wood chip mulch. The reason for this is when it comes to gardening, well, everything, there's always a yin and yang. There's always some things that are great, some things that aren't. So the worst part about gardening is weeding. And if you can eliminate that weeding, that's something I think is ingenious. So what we do is we put a thick wood chip mulch down. Not only does this suppress the weeds to make them basically so hard to grow, and even if they do pop up, it's really easy to grab them, but it also fertilizes the ground, brings in microbiological life, and brings in a lot of fungus. This breaks down, this feeds the trees, and this helps hold water and just helps with the overall system. So that's one of the things we love doing. You'll notice here, the section where I have wood chipped, I used to have a lot of strawberries and things growing, but it got a little too dense in here, and we having some strawberries kind of take over the whole area. So what we wanted to do was bring in new varieties, switch it up. That's good to do with strawberries sometimes, and we're just going to have a whole new thing coming on in the fall. Right here I've got the Prigioni apple. This is the apple tree I started from seed, one of my proudest trees in the whole entire garden. I've just watched this thing grow since I planted it from seed, and it's been exciting to see it. That's one of the fringe benefits of gardening, to be along for the whole experience and to just have fun and watch the trees grow and watch your design grow. Again, that's one of the great things about perennials as opposed to just planting annuals. You'll notice we've got a bunch of spiders in here too. So that goes back to the microbiological life and all the life in the garden in general, is we believe that life supports life. So we try to bring in a lot of beneficial insects, things like spiders, things like praying mantis. When you saw, we probably went and harvested those, and we like bringing those things in. We think it helps with the overall design and helps us bring back to basically nature. I want to come over here and show you a few peaches on the peach tree. Right here we've got a peach tree that's been in here for about 7 or 8 years, producing really well, loaded with peaches. You'll notice some of the peaches actually are rotting, and that's because of an insect. We get the plum curculio. So it basically just comes, lays eggs in the peaches, and then the larvae eat the pit from the center, and the fruit starts to rot. So some of the fruit looks like it's almost even ripe to eat, like we've got one right in there that looks super ripe, but that's only because it's actually rotting. But that's okay, we've got so many peaches on there, we should be good to share with all the insects. Some of them are greedier than others, but we like to draw in the beneficials and try to get as much of a balance as we can. Blackberries are doing fantastic also. Still got to prune them back a little bit. It's almost like I turn around and they grow like a foot or two. So we've got ripe blackberries in here, and I've got some more blackberries in another bush. But again, that's a design. bring a lot of perennials in, have a thick mulch down, and use the vertical space. Those are only just a few little things that could take your garden to the next level without a doubt. Let me bring you over to the tomatoes and show you some of that stuff. But before I do, I wanted to show you some of the bad, because not everything goes perfect, especially when you're trying to mimic a natural forest. So as you can see here, we've got a pear tree. This is just one of the side effects of a wet and cool spring, and also not getting the exact variety, the right variety the first time. A tree that's been in here for a long time. I put this in before I learned about the importance of getting the right variety the first time. So now this tree actually has fire blight. This is a bacteria disease. So I'm contemplating whether or not I actually want to remove the tree from the garden, which will be super hard to do because it's always been a productive tree for us. So we're going to think about that one and not just make too many rash moves. But what should have happened is we should have been coming out here and pruning when we saw any start of the fire blight. But I was away for a few days, so things happen, especially things move quickly at this time of year. And we've got an apple tree over here, which I don't want it to move over to. This apple tree is doing well. It's a young one. It's a Honeycrisp, one of my favorite varieties. Got some apples down there, so we want to make sure we watch over this one, treasure it, and we don't have anything else spreading to the rest of the trees in the garden. One of the reasons I love gardening, besides the fact of just being able to eat the fruit right from the trees and reaping the reward of the harvest, is for the experiences I get to have. To be out here with Tuck, to be able to share it with you guys and just enjoy myself. And one of the main reasons that I make these videos is for all of you that are out there that are on the fence, that aren't sure if you want to start gardening, if you want to get into it. Because in my opinion, gardening is one of those things that's going to be about as enjoyable as you make it. So gardening can be so much fun if you're willing to create that fun, if you're willing to try things that are just a little different than the norm. So me in general, I was never too excited about just going out there and planting things in rows and planting the same things every year and just that monotonous experience. But once I found out about permaculture, once I found out about building food forest, designing my own system and watching it grow year after year and feeling like I'm actually a part of nature, that's what changed it all for me. So I just want to encourage you guys to think outside the box and don't just focus on the harvest, but focus on the experience that you get to have, because that's what has really made the difference for me. And as a result of focusing on the experience, I'm out here more, I'm enjoying myself more, and then the productivity has come from that. So it's almost been like this synergistic kind of thing that I think has really worked well. So if you guys are enjoying the video, check out some of the merchandise, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be continuing to post content, continue to bring you along for this whole journey of growing this old food forest, the new food forest, and just everything that comes along with it. In the beginning of the video, I talked about how I like to grow tomatoes up a trellis or up a bamboo stake like I'm doing here, to utilize that vertical space to get more growing area. And that's another design of the 7-layer food forest. There's 7 layers. You've got the underground layer, the ground layer, the herbaceous layer, the canopy, the sub-canopy. So again, we break those into 7 different spaces. You can even add another space if you want to have fungus. But right here we've got our tomato growing up a trellis, doing real well, and also an ingenious design because it's super convenient. We don't even have to bend over a lot of time to grab these tomatoes. So this tomato right here happens to be my favorite variety, the Sun Gold Cherry. So delicious, so sweet. Let me try one. That's what you wait for all year. That's what we spend the months preparing, starting these things early for that taste, especially the Jersey tomato, so good. That's just the start though. I mean, tomato season is gonna start coming on heavy. Look at all these tomatoes I have just in this small area. Getting large, really put on the production. Like you can see, we've got some big ones over here. We've got loads of tomatoes over there. I got some nice ones here. The funny thing about this is that right here is actually a relatively shaded spot in my 7-year-old food forest. I've got more tomatoes in the other food forest over there. We've got cucumbers growing down here, basil at my feet. So we're trying to pack in as much food as we can in this space, and also making sure that we get the most of it. So let me bring you over to the new food forest and show you what we got growing on in there. Now I want to show you this new garden, same ingenious design, but even better, because I've had years of experience to work with it, to learn what does best locally, and to try to make sure that I take advantage of those things, like getting the right varieties in the first time, like getting good rows of strawberries, again, the correct varieties, hardy varieties, and then making sure I have those thick wood chips down early. This is only a 2nd-year garden here. This section, you guys may have noticed recently, we had a lot of different zucchini planted and green beans and stuff. That stuff started to slow down, so we went through and we replanted. We've got a bunch of zucchini coming up. We got more zucchini right there. That's a little further ahead. Crazy amounts of tomatoes in here. I mean, the tomatoes are just doing fantastic this year. That's one of the things, again, I just love growing, and that kind of leads back to what I was saying about making sure that you do things in the garden that are going to get you excited. So every year I'm trying new varieties of tomatoes, things that I've never had before. Again, still focusing on some of my favorites like the Sun Gold Cherry I just had. But look at this one over here. I think this might be the red grape tomato. Look at the amount of clusters on this thing. I mean, the amount of tomatoes is just amazing. The thing's over 7 foot tall now, which is fun to see. We even got some monster tomatoes we're growing this year, like the Goldie Yellow. They usually get some big tomatoes. So this thing's starting to ripen up, one of our biggest tomatoes in the garden. Can't wait to share that one. So the idea with a food forest and a garden like this is to always successively be growing things. Not to just plant one thing and let that be for the year, but to try to find little niches where we can plant something and while the other thing is still growing, maybe have the next plant coming up next to it. So that's what I'm doing right here. We've got some green beans and stuff growing, and those ones are kind of finishing up at the end, slowing down, but we've already got the new ones growing. So I'd say in about a week or so, these things should hopefully start moving towards production. And to keep that cycle growing, we've also got more cucumbers planted along the fence line here. Some of the earlier cucumbers we planted didn't do so hot, but we definitely don't quit. We're gonna keep going with it. And then next to the beans, we've got peppers, as you can see. Those are excelling, doing well, starting to put out some peppers. It took a little while to get going, but again, it was a cool, wet spring, so not perfect for peppers, but I'll tell you what, a lot of the other things have come through. Gotta love diversity. As you can see, Tuck's trying to bust into the garden. He's always trying to get in here, but I can't let him in all the time because he'll eat some of my cucumbers and my carrots and stuff when they're too small. I gotta feed it to him or he gets a little greedy sometimes. So following that same design of having perennials as a foundation, we've got some grapes growing up along the fence line, but while we're waiting for those to get larger to produce, we're not wasting the space, because growing along the trellis and the fence line is one of our favorite ways to do it, because again, saves the space but also makes it easy to harvest. Down here we've got some scarlet runner beans. These are going to be growing up along the fence line, just taking this thing over, looking beautiful with the flowers, but also producing for us. And next to me here, we've got a tomato plant. This comes back to some of the trying different varieties and having fun. I mean, as you guys saw, a lot of the tomatoes, I like to grow up a single stalk, but this variety just, it wouldn't happen. I think this is the Costoluto Genovese. I'll put the name in the overlay right here just so you guys know. But the amount of flowers is insane. The amount of tomatoes is crazy. And they even have these cool little teardrops at the bottom. I'll show you with a little shot as well. But as we move over here, there's some other different kinds of tomatoes that I'm just excited to grow this year, things I've never tried. And when I first started gardening and growing tomatoes, I didn't do it like this. I grew them standard. I even planted them from seed and just let them bush out. But through the years, I've learned, and this has been my favorite way to do it, always trying new things. Look at this tomato. This is a very unique shape, and it's got some funny little ribs to it and stuff, so this is one that I'm excited. I'm coming out here every day, checking them, seeing how many we have, seeing how big they're getting. And going back to this new way of actually growing the tomatoes that I had never done before, it kind of reminds me of a Bill Mollison quote, where he talks about how little we actually know in gardening, and how one little thing, even growing tomatoes like this, it can open up a door. And then once you get that door open, you realize there's got to be so many other doors that we've never even tried to open. So there's so many opportunities to grow, so many opportunities to try things, kind of like what we're doing over there with the tomatoes, with burying a fish underneath it. They're excelling well. I'm going to update you guys on that. But I mean, overall, I can't complain with how the garden's growing and just how we're growing as gardeners all together. And I think it's just going to make a more valuable experience for all of us. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And this probably is my favorite area in the whole garden this year. Every year I've got a different section, but Tomato Alley I think is just on point. Not only do we have huge tomatoes grown on either side, so we're just going to be grabbing left, grabbing right. We've got the strawberries down the center, some peppers too. So it feels good to utilize that space. I wanted to just thank everyone for watching, for continuing to watch and being part of this channel. One thing that I love about YouTube and this is that it's all free. I get to experience this with you, and it's at no cost to anybody else, and that's one of the things I find so valuable. That's why I fell in love with YouTube. That's why before I was making videos, I used to live on YouTube, but learned a lot of things from it. So I hope that this channel can be something that you guys get value from and can learn from as well, because that's really the ultimate goal, to share with everybody, to show you guys that you can do this and anybody can do this. Nothing that I'm doing is necessarily special. I think it's just a little different. If you enjoyed the video though, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends. If you do want to contribute to the channel, we've got some shirts, some merchandise down low, and we've got some coffee mugs and all different stuff too. So me and Tuck will be back at you real soon. We